Mazz, where do you want to start?
I want to start with I'll tell you what my biggest takeaway of the game was. I think the single most sustainable and positive development that came out of that game was the emergence of Stefon Diggs. To me, that was it. I thought he was the best player on the field yesterday. I thought he was the best player by a wide margin. I think he's the best player on the Patriots offense. He has a knack for getting open. He catches everything that's thrown to him. He can make big plays, small plays, all kinds of plays. And I looked it up today because they are now 19 of 22 when they throw the ball to Stefon Diggs this year. Okay, 3 misses, 19 of 22. Among wide receivers in the NFL, in terms of catch percentage, he's number one.
Wow.
Number one in the league. Now, there were 2 guys ahead of him that are non-receivers. One is Jahmyr Gibbs. One is Jake Ferguson, obviously a running back and a tight end. But no receiver in football has caught a higher percentage of his throws or passes targeted to him with a minimum of 20 targets than Stefon Diggs. And I tell you, my eyeball test, when I watch it, it looks that way. He's usually open. He doesn't need much space. He holds on to everything. He knows how to find spots and zones. He knows how to, run a route and create space for himself. And if Drake May delivers the ball, he catches it. Off the top of my head, 2 of the 3 misses were bad throws. One yesterday,
yeah.
And there was one in week 1 that was a similar kind of play where May threw behind him.
Well, I want to say, I told you so, but I've always told you, I love this guy's game.
I know.
Because it's just, he's like right up my alley as a receiver, which is get open, catch the ball, go over the middle, move the chains. I'm more interested in those guys than the take the top off guy. And Steph Diggs he certainly was more explosive in his prime in Minnesota and into Buffalo. But he's obviously kept that thing that he gets open in the middle of the field and catches the ball and takes the punishment and comes back for more. I love his play style.
I mean, Mike, that little 6-8 yard pass in the middle of the field just behind the line of scrimmage, like they could throw that all day. He'll be open every time and he'll catch it. They could get 6-8 yards on first or second down every single time if they wanted to.
Was it clear to you they made an adjustment?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're obviously not Vrabel won't admit it. No one will admit it. But don't you think that?
Yes.
He was in the slot.
Yeah, they moved him inside. They also moved him outside. It felt like a little, but not much. I think when he even ran routes to the sidelines, he was running them from the inside. So, yes, thank God. It's an obvious, easy fix given the way things were going with Demario Douglas. That single change in the offense will pay enormous dividends.
Does the play of the team, Murray, and the quarterback change your view of what's going on there with the team and the quarterback?
Yeah, a little bit, because yesterday was confirmation on something I previously was starting to think wasn't possible, and that's can they even beat the dregs of the league given their consistent stupidity, turnovers, penalties, slow starts out of the gate, which we also saw yesterday too, which, hey, good day for them, but at the beginning of that game was infuriating. That Panthers team with that tiny quarterback and his weak arm going through them like a hot knife through butter, followed by a 3-and-out. I was pissed. Legit. I'm like, here we go again. Like they're going to do this against this Panthers team that really can't even win on the road with this quarterback. Are you kidding me? But thankfully, it turned on its head.
It was annoying.
Oh, it really was.
Yeah,
I
brutal.
couldn't believe it. Against guys like the guy that even caught the touchdown. Like, who are you? I've never even heard of you. So thankfully, it turned on its head after the Marcus Jones return for the touchdown, and a lot of positives. Yeah, that front of the defense can be dominant. May and Diggs certainly are building a rapport. And most importantly, they get out of the month 2-2. They didn't get there in the way most rational people thought, but they got out of the month 2-2. Maybe they upset Buffalo. And even if they don't, the good news is, in front of them, it's a lot of trash like they played yesterday. And I think they can beat those trash teams now.
So I definitely think they met the expectation. They didn't exceed it. In my mind, just how I was viewing the team in the season, that they have enough and should have enough, and there's no excuse not for them not to be a 500 team. And it was important, especially given the schedule, to start out 2-2, and so here they are. I mean, that's right where I expected them to be. And I expect them to be at that, if not better, after the next month as well. You get to December, I think they got Buffalo and Baltimore on the schedule in December. We can, see what that looks like when we get there, but I expected this kind of start. There's really no excuse for them not to have this kind of start. The competition is that bad, and Carolina is that bad.
Oh, they're horrible.
Miami's that bad. And you've just heard me say it too much. You just can't have that draft position 2 straight years, have that amount of money to spend, a good quarterback, right? And keep losing to these teams. There's just no excuse for that.
And as it turns out, because you mentioned the Ravens, doesn't that game potentially look maybe a little different now on the schedule?
Sure.
That team could be checked out. The quarterback kind of quit yesterday, it feels like, or maybe he's injured. Who knows? But you might be on the road against them with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Puncher's chance.
So I'm just, December's a ways out. October's right here. I give them a fighting chance this week. I really do. This was Vrabel's specialty in Tennessee as an underdog. I know they've been slight underdogs in some of these games, but I think, doesn't Mike Vrabel have the best record in football as an underdog during his time in Tennessee? There's a stat out there that he had the best record in the NFL as an underdog while he was with the Titans. And so this is a real underdog week. This is where I expect to see Mike Vrabel. But we got all week to talk about that. Yesterday, special teams, it wasn't just that first drive they gave up. Their first offensive drive was also hot garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think they were a little preoccupied with getting Stevenson that first carry, trying to prove some point. Neat. You handed it to him so he could put 2 hands on it and gain half a yard or whatever it was. And then you went a quick 3 and out. And
May almost threw a pick.
And May, that third down ball was, I think, probably his one turnover-worthy play of the day. Sort of threw it into traffic. And then Carolina got into your territory and then sort of gagged on it. And they were punting from the 45. Like, that's not typically where you get those punt returns. Mm-hmm. That's a fair catch, touchback, out of bounds. They're punting from your – I don't know if it's exactly the 45.
No, right about, though, yeah.
But it was a plus. They were in plus territory. That's exceedingly rare to give up a return in that position. That's a punt safe kind of thing. And you still managed it. So I don't want to say it was lucky, but – it took that thing to change the tide on that one, Mazz.
Yeah, again, huge play. And I thought, I put this in the email. So I think in retrospect, Vrabel kind of baited them. Their special teams play blows. It's awful.
Carolina, you're talking.
Yeah, awful.
And how did he bait him?
Because last week he said, their coverage teams are really, really good, and he was raving on and on and on about their coverage teams. And then I watched this game, and on the return by Marcus Jones for the touchdown, the first one, I felt like they over-pursued a little. They got too deep. He shook a tackle or two, and then when you watch the replay, look how many blue shirts are down the field. There were like 6 or 7 of them before you see a Carolina guy. All the Patriots were down the other end of the field. Carolina got completely smoked, and they they put a kickoff in the end zone. They missed a field goal. The Patriots also had a good kickoff return that was called back because Pettis committed a penalty on the opposite side of the field. Otherwise, they'd have had a good return there. I think Vrabel saw something, spit it out there that, they're really good on coverage when he really thought they suck on coverage and we have a chance to bust one in this game, and he was right. That play obviously turned the game. But I think he saw it going in. I think he saw these guys kind of over-pursue, and they're not super disciplined, and if we can get around them, we can go, and they did.
So, if he did, kudos to him for baiting them. But the changes, Diggs was definitely a change.
Definitely.
And they underplayed Steven. They got Stevenson his first carry to prove a point, but he didn't have the same role in the game plan that he had the week before. So they obviously made some changes on that side. What do you think of Christian Gonzalez coming back, Mazz? Did it change things?
Yeah, I think so. To me, it wasn't a huge factor in the game because it became so one-sided. In the bits that I saw, he looked okay. There were a couple of times where it looks like he was a step or two off, slipped a time or two. So I don't know that he looked great. I'm not, McMillan's okay. There was one ball on the sideline where it was thrown out in front of him and he kind of alligator armed it. Do you remember that at all? The safety was coming up, and I think he was afraid he was going to get hit, so he didn't fully extend for the ball. But, as much, it was probably a good kind of game for Gonzalez to return because he didn't have to do a crap ton. They got so far in front, and there was one guy to worry about, and McMillan's not super fast. So I thought Gonzalez was fine, but he didn't stand out to me. I don't know if he stood out to you.
No, good morale boost, but I think, and again, it's a good warm up for him considering the team they played. And I think that mentally, that quarterback, Bryce Young, is like terrified to throw at anyone that's a name like Christian Gonzalez too. So nice way for him to ease back after missing the whole camp.
Bryce Young's horrible.
Oh, he is awful. He's so bad.
He's bad.
Hopeless.
Yeah, he's bad. I mean, he doesn't have the size.
Arm strength.
He doesn't have
blows.
the act. Yeah, there's a lot lacking there.
Hopeless. Let's see, NFL quarterback rating. League leaders. This is the traditional quarterback rating. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. Number 2, Jared Goff. Number 3, Jordan Love. Number 4, Josh Allen. Number 5, Drake May. Number 5.
He's
Pretty
had
good.
2 really good games.
And you guys coming around?
Yeah, sure.
Coming around on what you're seeing? Stu, you coming around at all?
Nope.
I mean, can you start stacking them together? Can you have 2 good games in a row? I'm more on Jimmy's side of this. Like, great. Blah me all you want today. Can we get 2 games in a row like that?
I'm not blind.
No, not you. I've heard it already from the people. See? Okay. Like, see? Against that Dolphins wretched defense of the Carolina Panthers. Like, okay.
We're giving them credit for beating a bad Carolina team now. That's what we're doing. Blowing out a team that they should be blowing out. If they beat Buffalo or if they play competitive with Buffalo, you have my attention now.
So, look, I think they're at a stage where you take anything you can get because they have to show that they can beat the bag out of bad teams. And so that thing yesterday looked like child's play.
2-2. I'm reticent to say good start because it's what I expected. I think that's like that should have been their base, but it's kind of a good start. You know what I mean?
Remember, though, if the Miami player doesn't step out of bounds, right now they're 1-3.
I know.
But he didn't.
It's the way this league goes.
I'm just saying, if he did, we're looking at 1-3.
I see. I look at it more as the Pittsburgh game. Like,
Yeah, you have a right to feel a little greedy. Like, yeah, that was a very beatable opponent that day.
yes, Pittsburgh's not that good. You could have won that game if you just held on to the freaking ball. You could have won that game because, again, May, when he passed for the most part, was pretty decent in that game. Not as good as the other 2, but pretty decent. The things that hurt him were the turnovers. So, you know, and that's a big if or but. But, you know, they look, yesterday the other team didn't even belong on the field with them. The Patriots aren't that good. We know that.